thought it'd be kind of fun to film a usual breakfast in my household, which is hot oatmeal. Super easy to make. I'm gonna make it with a bit of a holiday twist on it, I guess you could say, with some sweet flavors with some apples, cinnamon, nutmeg, and a little maple syrup and honey. That's gonna be really good. And hold on, I gotta make tea for my wife. She's got an early meeting. We make a lot of overnight oats, but when it starts getting wintertime here, we want anything besides something cold in the morning, as most people. So that's where hot oatmeal comes into play. And this is pretty much the same exact thing I used to make on my ship back in the day, with some variations to it. But we'd almost always have hot oatmeal probably every other day. All right, so I've got my coffee and tea going. Now I can show you how to make the actual oatmeal in a second here. So I've got my pot on the stove heating up. I've got 4 cups of water measured out to 2 cups of dry oatmeal. It's a pretty simple ratio. I'm gonna use a little bit of oat butter instead of regular butter since it's a little bit healthier for my apples. Get our butter in here, followed by our apples coming up. This is a really tasty version of hot oatmeal for a nice winter day, which it is a nice winter day here. We're gonna wanna season our apples up with some cinnamon and nutmeg. You can go a little aggressive with the cinnamon, but only use a tiny bit of nutmeg. It's a really, really strong flavor, so you wanna add like a pinch or 2 max. We're gonna let this cook down for a little while before we throw in the rest of our ingredients. And I'm doing mine with a little healthy twist that you don't necessarily have to do. So we usually use flaxseed, ground flaxseed, and chia seeds. Now, these 2 things are really healthy for you. They're high in fiber, they got some protein to them too. So we love putting this in our oatmeal, you don't have to. I'm gonna use a little syrup to add a little sugar sweetness to it, just a little bit of this. I'm gonna substitute the rest of what I would usually use with honey to make it a little bit healthier. It's holiday time, so we're gonna use a little maple syrup, it's okay. The goal for our apples is to just cook them enough so they get a little soft on the outside, so they're a little easier to eat. And so the cinnamon nutmeg flavors, they cook up along with the oat butter and make a really nice flavor for our oatmeal. It's gonna be nice and chunky. I use 2 whole apples, and that's why I like it. If you don't want it as chunky, just use 1 apple instead. Next, we're gonna add in our 4 cups of water. Now we're gonna let this cook until it comes up to a high simmer or a low boil, and then we're gonna add in our oats. I'm gonna throw a lid on it to speed up the process. Make sure you have all your mise en place for this ready, which is pretty easy. Now our water's cooked up high enough, we're gonna throw in our oatmeal. Stir it on up, and this will go for a few minutes or so until we get to that consistency we like. We're gonna let it sit for a couple minutes and keep checking in every 30 seconds or so and giving it a good stir. Keep in mind if you put back on the lid to keep a close eye on the heat, otherwise it'll overflow. It's a pain in the ass to clean up hot oatmeal. I've done it way too many times. It'll slowly start thickening up as it goes longer, but we're gonna add in our maple syrup and our honey next. Ooh yeah, that's good stuff. Now I've been craving lately is French toast. I might have to make some. I used to make this really good graham cracker French toast in the Coast Guard. Everybody loved it. Add in our honey, and then we're gonna add in the totally optional choice, but we love adding it in, chia seeds and flax seeds. Add in a good amount. This stuff is full of fiber. It's really good for you. Make sure all that stirs in nicely. Turn down the heat just a little bit. Totally forgot to almost add in the vanilla. Now just a tiny bit. I always add in too much, I swear. Okay, that's good. This really kicks it up a notch and makes it that more holiday tasting, you know, a little festive. So now we're almost to the consistency I like. If you like it extra kind of soupy, I would call it. You could take it off right now. I like mine to go a little bit longer though. I probably made a little too much for my wife and I, but that's the perfect thing, is I can just throw this back into the fridge and heat it up again tomorrow. And now we've got our breakfast meal prepped holiday style, which is kind of nice. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. You can also sign up to my weekly newsletter.